I was requested by one of my viewers to do more jump cuts. No problem. Hey everybody, John the Other here, obviously. So why does Justin Trudeau piss me off so much? Well, among other things, because he praised recently in a eulogy, in a glowing, effusive, loving, praising eulogy, a brutal, sadistic, and murderous dictator who for 50 years held his country in poverty, and whose implemented policies produced an overall massive increase in hunger and human suffering and a stagnation for his country. Held them in poverty for over 50 years. Used mass murder. Was a mass murdering, vicious and brutal, sadistic dictator whose contribution to the world was an overall increase in suffering and a reduction in quality of life. And was a mass murdering psychopath. And my Prime Minister Zoolander, praised this monster rather than saying, he's dead now, goodbye to bad rubbish. Now, it's not just that Trudeau was singing the praises of a brutal, sadistic, murdering dictator whose work in this world, whose contribution was an increase in suffering. It's that this Prime Minister is this pretty-faced drama teacher and snowboard instructor who has somehow managed, through the gullibility of the public, managed to put himself as the leader of one of the world's secular democracies, Canada, is advancing through this praise the philosophy of Marxism. And Marxism is a political philosophy whose proponents have a utopian vision, but whenever it is implemented in every single case in human history, every single implemented version of Marxism at the level of a national government results in mass murder, starvation, economic collapse, and a gigantic increase in human suffering. That is what Marxism produces. It doesn't matter that the people pushing it have an idea in their head of a perfect utopian world without suffering. That's an imaginary world in their head. What it actually produces in the real world is a massive increase in human suffering, mass murder, reduction in knowledge, and reduction in the quality of life for everybody. It's a backwards movement for the human race. And people who are educated, who have access to modern education, and who fail to learn this lesson, this repeated lesson through history every single time that Marxism has been implemented. Pol Pot, Red China, Soviet Russia. Marxism produces more human suffering. Marxism, when implemented, produces murder, mass starvation, economic collapse, and a growth in human suffering. That's what it produces. It doesn't matter what's in your head. And so I find it extremely disgusting and horrible. The leader of one of the world's, I guess, foremost secular democracies is promoting this disgusting murder ideology, this ideology of suffering and starvation and economic collapse and mass murder. So if you're believing in the utopian, the perfect world idea of Marxism, and you think that your version, if only they would just listen to you, we'd have the one that produces a perfect utopian world and not the one that we get every single time. Every single time, without fail, that Marxism is implemented as a form of government, what you get is mass murder, starvation, economic collapse, and a gigantic increase in human suffering. And Justin Trudeau has no excuse. There's no excuse for him to be promoting that as the elected representative of a secular democratic nation. It's beyond disgusting. It's beyond horrible. And it should make you fucking angry. Thanks very much for watching. And as always, have a lovely day.